I want to introduce you to the Lashawan Qadash. On your spare time, this is a good thing to review, but I recommend that you always study the law, statutes, and commandments. This is something, again, in your spare time to keep from doing something idle. This is a good thing to do. I am Shemaiah 1 with Lions Roar 12 Tribes. I am going to show you some reference books. This is the Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible. This is a good book to purchase if you're interested in studying the Lashawan Qadash to understand the meaning of words that are written in the Old and the New Testament. You probably have to get a lexicon of Greek, but this is a good book to have. Ancient Lexicon of the Bible, Hebrew letters, words, and roots defined within their ancient cultural context. This book was written by Jeff A. Benner. Jeff A. Benner. Okay, and I have another book right next to it. Here's another book if you want to learn the ancient Lashawan Qadash language. You can purchase this book, How the Hebrew Language Grew. And this was written by Edward Horowitz. Edward Horowitz. And last but not least, here's another book you can purchase. It's called The Wisdom in the Hebrew Alphabet. The Wisdom in the Hebrew Alphabet. And this is written by Rabbi Michael L. Monk. And it says at the bottom, the sacred letters as a guide to, says Jewish deed and thought. Now, this book here is a book called the Ben Yehuda's English to Hebrew and Hebrew to English Dictionary. Now, the Yiddish Hebrew is something that was newly formed. So because of this being something newly formed, this is really taking you to another people's language. I would rather go to the Lashawan Qadash, and this book is better off teaching you what the ancient Hebrew lexicon is. Now the Strong's lexicon book is basically going off of this book, and that one is a James Strong. That one is actually the Greek and Hebrew dictionary, and it breaks down what a lot of these words that are in the Ben Yehudi's book is. So, I mean, you can purchase those books if you're interested. Now, I'd like to reiterate, these are two different languages. The Lashawan Qadash and this new form Yiddish Hebrew are two different languages. This is the ancient form of language, which is going back to the ancient Phoenician language. But this one is a new form English. A lot of the Blue Letter Bible is coming from this. This is a new Yiddish Hebrew. It's not the ancient Hebrew. Just so you know. We study the Lashawan Qadash. Okay? So I'm going to go into a little bit of the ancient Hebrew that I sketched down. These, as you can see, I put words, Lashawan Qadash. The Lashawan Qadash is the holy tongue. And I believe Zephaniah speaks about the Lashawan Qadash language. Alright, this is something I wrote a long time ago, but this is the best way I could put it to you. These are the words of the Lashawan Qadash, which is the holy tongue. We'll start with number 1, Kara. Kara. Kara means to call. Kara. Kara. Now you say Kara'a, that makes it feminine. Kara'a, Ra'a. The two words at the end are connected. This is where you get the word call from. Kara. Just like the so-called Quran. It means a calling or reading. It's just a poor complimentary of the Bible. Okay, the Black Popes of Rome set that up. And it was deemed by St. Augustine. St. Augustine, he was a monk that wrote 2 books. One of the books that he wrote was called The City of God, and the other one was called Confessions. So the Quran came out of those 2 books. St. Augustine came out of the Roman Catholic Church. And this is where the word Korah is what it means, to call, or the calling. The next word we have is Marakab. Marakab. Okay, Marakab, it means car or chariot. Marakab. Car or chariot. It's the conjunction of 2 words. The ma is of or from. Ma, of or from. The rakab means ride. Okay, so of or from is ride. It's just like in the city when you call a cab, what do you ask for? You ask for a cab, right? Cab, marakab. Marakab. Cab, same thing. Of or from. A rakub, rakub, which means ride. Okay, the next word is tazawah. Tazawah. It means command. Tazawah. Tazawah means command. It's just like YAHAWAH, Tazawah, or YAHAWAH. Certain Hebrew words have a ah at the end that can be masculine, or sometimes neutral. When you add the ha at the end of it, it becomes feminine. But in this particular case, it's Tazawah, ah. So the Most High's name is YAHAWAH, means he to be or he exists. The Yah means he, and Hawa means to be or exist. Let's go down to the next one. The next one I have is Hatazayah. Hatazayah. When you see some of the Hatazayah, when you see some of the so-called Jewish people, they have ambulances in certain parts of New York or Jersey, and they put on it Hatazola, volunteer ambulances. Hatazola. Look on that. Look on the trucks. Hatazola, volunteer ambulances. Hatazayal. It means to deliver. All right. And this is how you write it in Hebrew. Lashawan Qadash. Okay. The next word we're going to go to is Arataza. Arataza. Arataza means earth. Arataza. Arataza means earth. And this is how you write it. Arataza. Now, Rataza, it means will. The will of the Father. Rataza. Rataza. Rataza means will. So the next one we're going to go to is Abba, like father. Abba. In the Arabic, the way you say Abba is Abu, right? But in the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash, you say Abba, meaning father. Okay, the next word is Yakash. Yakash, which is genealogy. Now, there's different words for genealogy. Like, for example, you have the sperm. That would be Yakash. Okay, and so when I meant that there's more definitions or words for genealogy, you have also a word that you would call generations, right? Which is talking about the records of the earth and generations. Like when you go into the 2nd chapter of Genesis, it talks about the generations of the heavens and the earth. Those are the records. or the histories or the recordings. And those recordings were from Moses. He recorded the generations. If you go into Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, it lets you know that Moses, he received the records, which was the law, statutes, and commandments. And then he also received what? He received the recordings of the generations of the heavens and the earth. So Moses didn't just go up on a mountain for 10 commandments. He went up there to receive the 613 laws from the Most High, and he also received the recordings on how the Most High created the earth, how he used the angels, how he commanded the angels to create the earth through YAHAWAH. And also, you got to remember, the Most High showed Moses how to build the temple, how to build the ark. He received prophecies. He received a lot of things from the Most High when he was on that mountain. Okay? And so this is why genealogy in the form of Yakash is important. Yakash, the genealogy, your generations. So the next word is lab, lab, which is your heart. Okay? Lab. It means heart. So the heart that it's referring to is not talking about your heart in your chest. This heart is referring to the heart in your mind. Like Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, he says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? It's talking about your mind. Your mind is wicked. All right? The heart in your chest is pumping blood. That's why YAHAWAH was convicting all the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He says, your heart is wicked above all matters. Your heart. So lab, okay, is where you get the word heart from. It's just like today. There's a lot of wicked men whose heart is bad that's interfering with this truth going out. So lab is your heart and your mind. So our job is to correct the hearts and minds of the people by keeping the law, statutes, commandments with the faith and testimony of YAHAWAH, which through him we exemplified the fruits of the Spirit. So your lab is very important. Very important. Not like these wicked people who are not trying to follow his ways. Okay, I'm going to go to another one. This is a name of a person in the Bible. And this is Jeremiah, which is Yarum-Yah. This is a masculine name. Yarum-Yah. It means the Most High exalted, or the Most High lifted him up. Yarum-Yah. Okay, just like Geronimo, the Indian, the Native American indigenous Indian, his name was Geronimo, which also means Yarum-Yah. The Most High lifted him up to fight against his enemies. He came from the tribe of Gad. Yarum-Yah. And if you read the first chapter of Jeremiah, chapter 1, it shows you how he lifted him up. And it ends with the ha. With the ha. Yarum-Yah. Ha. It's masculine. So that's not a feminine name. Yarum-Yah. Okay? And you could construct it to be a woman's name by the type of word that you use. Not in this word, per se, but like the next word. Sapar. Sapar. Sapar means book. Sapar. See that? Sapar. Now, if you want to make it a woman, you will say Sapar Ha. You put a H-A at the end of the Sapar. Sapar Ha. Which would make it feminine. All right? And notice we read from right to left. But if I wanted to make this Sapar Ha, like what I would put for a Ha, I would write Ha, and that Ha would be that would go at the end from right to left. That would be on the left-hand side of this. So it would be right here. It will be Sapar Ha. Sapar Ah. Okay? And by doing that, it would let you know that you were given the book to a woman. Sapar Ha, her book. See that? Sapar ha. Sapar ha. So you made it feminine by putting a ha at the end of it. Okay, so listen, we're not going to learn all the Hebrew words before the Most High comes back. When YAHAWAH returns, we're going to learn all these words, all these things he's going to restore unto us. But like I said, do this on your free time. We're trying to get familiar with some of these words and what they mean. This is the Hebrew words in the Lashawan Qadash. Okay, these are the Hebrew words in the Yiddish. Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet. This is garbage. All right, just so you know. This is garbage, but it can assist you with learning the ancient Hebrew. If you knew Arabic, you wouldn't need this. You could take that and throw it away and just go from the ancient Lashawan Qadash. But there are certain groups, certain people in parts of Africa that actually can speak and read the Lashawan Qadash this particular day. It's a lost language, just like the tribes of Israel are lost. But the Most High, like I said, is going to restore it. As you can see here, the Lashawan Qadash, Abagadaha, Waza, all the way down, I have the Lashawan Qadash written down. All right. So we're in rehearsal mode. This is Judges chapter 5, verse 11. We're going to rehearse the righteous acts, right? So this is what we're doing, just so you know. The Most High said in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse, that we all going to call upon a pure language and call on the name of the Most High, all right, which is YAHAWAH. Now, we know that the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments is his name. And so when you keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, you are a representation of the name of YAHAWAH. And most importantly, YAHAWAH. So in order to be like him, you have to act like him, right? It's not to the hearers of the law, but to the doers of the law. So all we're doing is rehearsing the righteous acts. And the language was a part of that. We were given this language from the Most High. So I just wrote this word down. This is the word eat. And the way you would say this is akal, akal. And these two words are connected. The a and the kal are one word, okay? They're connected. So when you look at this word eat, there are two separate words, and the way you would put those together is you would use the conjunctions of separators and connectors. Now the connectors, if you look at the connector here, that would connect this word to the separator, which is kal. So it brought those words together, kal, which brings them together. Now I'm going to drop down to this word. This is the word Eden. And the way you would say Eden in the Lashawan Qadash is Idan. Idan. Okay? Idan. You see the connector is connecting the Idan. And what Idan means, it means paradise. It means paradise or joy. Eden. Paradise or joy. Okay? So this is what we have. Paradise or joy. Now when you go to the 2nd chapter, you notice that this is after he made the trees, the flowers, the animals, all the different things. You notice that he took Adam and he took him eastward. And what was eastward? Eastward was in Eden. So he took Adam and he put him in Eden. And this is where he brought Eve out of the land of Eden. Because the whole earth, Idan, the Garden of Eden, Israel, Egypt, the Mediterranean, all of that is Eden, Idan. So when he took Adam, he put him in Eden. And when he put him in Eden, which is paradise, which is joy, this was the best place of vegetation eastward in Idan. They had the best plants, they had the best everything. So this is why he put them eastward in Eden. Took Adam and Eve and put them in Eden. When you go to Deuteronomy 32:8, when he separated the nations, he put all these nations in their section out lands, and he saved the last part for the Adamite. Eden was the best land. It was a choice land. It was paradise. It was joy. So this is where he put Adam and Eve. They were supposed to be in that land. So the Garden of Eden was originally what we call Palestine. Okay, Palestine was bigger than what they're trying to tell us in that little small area. Palestine was huge, way bigger than that. Okay, so that was the Garden of Eden with the rivers and the vegetation, everything flowed. Today it's dried up. So the next word is enemy. Enemy. And the way you would say enemy is YAHAWAH. YAHAWAH. Okay? And a lot of times when we're doing the Passover, we'll do the blessings and we'll send up the cursings on our enemies. Okay? The enemies of the other nations, not of our people. And the way you say enemy, our enemies, you would say YAHAWAH. 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 And the yum, which is what you see here, the yum, which is what you would say yum, the yum makes it plural. Okay? The yum makes it plural. So you say our enemies, you say YAHAWAH. The yum is masculine. And when you say nawa, YAHAWAH, nawa means our. Nawa or wa means our. YAHAWAH, which means our enemies. Yeah, some people will be saying, well, you can't curse your enemies. This is not a curse. This is not like using profanity. This is like crying to the Most High to do something. YAHAWAH. You're talking about these people are causing affliction on your people. YAHAWAH. This is in our prayer. YAHAWAH. We ask that the Most High do something swiftly and immediately. Okay, now the next word is first. First, Lashawan. Lashawan. I kind of wrote it kind of decrepit right here, but these are the connectors. Lashawan. All right? Lashawan. So when we look at this word Lashawan, what does this word here means? Ra'ash. Ra'ash. Ra'ash, by itself, it means head. Ra'ash, it means head. But when we put it with the one, Ra'ashwan, it becomes first. Head first. Ra'ashwan. So I'm running out of room to write here, but let me see. So I'm running out of room to write here, but so if I took, so we have, trying to hold this camera and write this. So we have Ra'ashwan. So when you read the book of Genesis, let's see here. When you read the book of Genesis, right? Excuse my penmanship. Now, in the Hebrew, you would write with the connectors. Now, what this means is, in the ancient Hebrew, I said Genesis, it means Ba'ash Rash, Ba'ra'ash Yath. Ba'ra'ash Ra'ash Yath, which means in the beginning or the heading, first. Bara'ash, in the beginning. The head, the heading. The head, Bara'ash, and when you put Yath on it, it makes it plural. Bara'ash Yath makes it the heading, plural, the heading. In the beginning. Bara'ash Yath. It's plural now. You also have another word, which is called, let me see, zoom in here so you can see what I'm writing. Another word would be Jeshurun, and the way you would write that in Hebrew, you would write Yashar, oh, forgive me, Yashar 1, Yashawan. Yashawan is the same as Jeshurun. Jeshurun also means first. In the way you would write that in Hebrew, you would write, you notice this, how this is written, the way you would write Yeshurun in Hebrew, you would write, let me back up some, you would write these are connectors. That's Yeshurun. Yeshurun. Okay? Yeshurun. Yasharan. Yashawan. This is Yashawan. Or Jeshurun. Yashawan. Which also means first. Yashawan. Okay, so I wrote this in. And here's another word. This is another word. It's called dog. Not dog. Dog. Dog for fish. And as you notice, there's a connector on this. These words come together. There's a connector. This is dog. Dog. Fish. All right. Go back to the Lashawan Qadash here. As you can see here on the Lashawan Qadash, dog. See that right there? And then you see the connector. Ga. These are two words that are together. So we know that we begin from right to left, so this would be here, and it would be dog, dog. And this is where you get the word fish, fish. And this is also like, who was that? I'm trying to, oh, it was Jonah. When Jonah went to prophesy against Nineveh, what was their god called? It was called Dagon, right? The fish god, right? That was who they believed in, the fish god. And who else was worshiping Dagon? It was the Canaanites. Remember the Canaanites? I mean, that's why when you look at the Most High, when he put those commandments, and he says, do not worship anything under the earth, in the sea, or in the sky, because all these nations that were outside of the Garden of Eden, in Idon, they were worshiping all these gods of the earth that they had created. So the Most High was trying to make a difference with us to be his chosen people. Starting from Adam all the way down to Jacob, of the 12 tribes of Israel, even to now. Hey, they were worshiping the sun. These other nations, they were worshiping the sun. They were worshiping the moon. They were doing this for agriculture purposes. They were worshiping hawk gods. They was worshiping dog gods, right, in Egypt. That's why the Most High told us to separate ourselves from them. Because they didn't believe in him. He exists. That's why his name is YAHAWAH. He exists. Not only that, who else worships the fish god? When you look at the Pope and you look at the cardinals, which Pope means door, and cardinals, it means the hinges, okay, the hinges on the door. But the Pope, when you look at his hat, when he goes around from place to place, like now he's on his way to India and then he's going to hit the islands, watch him. He's going to have that hat on with that giant mouth on the top of it. That's the god Dagon. So even the Pope worships the fish god, Dagon. If you look at that hat that the Pope has on, they call it a mitri, which they really got it from us. Everything that they have, they got it from us. They just put a demonic spin on it. I mean, we didn't wear no fish hat. We wore like a turban, which we call in the scriptures a mitri or a mitre, which had a 45-degree angle, so the top part of our head could show to the Most High. It wasn't a fish, it was a turban. And we did that for the Most High, so the Most High could see the top part of our skull. Because the Most High always said that the man always had to have the crown of his head exposed. Because the scripture says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4, that a man should always have his head, when prophesying, exposed. We are the chosen. Okay, the next word we're going to go into is forgive. Forgive or excuse. And that is salakia. Salakia. You hear sometimes brothers be like, salakia. He's saying forgive me, or he made a mistake or something, he'll say excuse me. Or we'll say it to the Most High, salakia, Baba Kasha, meaning please. Please means Baba Kasha. But salakia, forgive me, Baba Kasha. But this is how you would write from right to left with the connector, salakia. It becomes one word, salakia. Okay, for forgive. And I'm going to end it there. I just wanted to bring a few Hebrew words out with some good resources that you could utilize to learn the Lashawan Qadash at your own convenience when you have time. But like I always say, if you ask me, the first thing you should learn is precept upon precept, laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. I mean, we have very little time on this earth to get this truth out. But if you could enhance your spirit, learn the Lashawan Qadash. Even though some people say, don't learn it. It's okay. You can learn it. All right? If you have the time. This is on your time. All right? The Lashawan Qadash.